Previously on The Ridiculously Entertaining History of America, we survived Jamestown's mosquitoes, avoided being called witches in Salem, and spilled a lifetime's worth of tea into Boston Harbor. Now, grab your powdered wig and brace for muskets. Because in Part 2, the colonies are done sipping tea and ready to spill blood. This is The Revolution Begins. Part 2. The year is 1775. Tensions boiling, tempers are short, and muskets are loaded. The British have had enough of these unruly colonists. And the colonists? Well, they've had enough of being bossed around by a king they've never met. It all starts at Lexington and Concord, where someone fires the first shot. Nobody's sure who. The British blame the Americans blame the British. And history teachers have been debating it ever since. That single gunshot echoes around the world, the start of the American Revolution. Now, leading the ragtag Continental Army is George Washington, a man who looks like he hasn't smiled since birth and carries the weight of a brand new nation on his powdered shoulders. Washington isn't winning a lot at first. In fact, he loses most battles. But every time the British think they've crushed the rebellion, the Americans pop up somewhere else, waving flags and shouting, "Freedom!" At Valley Forge, the winter is brutal. Men freeze. Food runs out. They have no shoes, no blankets, no morale. And somehow Washington keeps them together, through sheer willpower, and maybe a few angry pep talks. Then, in 1778, something miraculous happens. France joins the fight. Because if there's one thing the French love more than fine wine, it's annoying the British. With French ships, money, and soldiers, the tide turns. By 1781, the British are cornered at Yorktown, outnumbered, outmaneuvered, and finally defeated. The British surrender. The war is over. America is free. 13 colonies have become one nation. A bold experiment in liberty, equality, and endless political arguing. Building a nation. Freedom is great, but now what? After the Revolution, America has no king, no strong government, and about 13 different opinions on how to run things. They try something called the Articles of Confederation, a system so weak it can't even collect taxes or settle state arguments. It's like a group project where nobody's doing their part. So in 1787, the Founding Fathers gather in Philadelphia to try again. They lock themselves in a room. No AC, lots of wigs, and argue for months. The result? The U.S. Constitution, a document so durable, it's still running the country over 200 years later, with the occasional patch job called an amendment. They add the Bill of Rights, 10 rules to make sure citizens have freedom of speech, religion, and the right to say mean things about Congress. And in 1789, George Washington becomes the first president. He sets the standard for every leader who follows. Dignified, calm, and not interested in a second term. After Washington comes John Adams, brilliant, but grumpy. Then Thomas Jefferson, philosopher, inventor, and buyer of the world's biggest real estate deal, the Louisiana Purchase. For $15 million, the U.S. doubles in size. That's about 3 cents an acre. And no, you can't find land that cheap anymore. The age of expansion. With new land comes new opportunity and chaos. Pioneers head west in covered wagons, chasing dreams of farmland, gold, and a fresh start. They face harsh winters, wild rivers, and the occasional "we should have stayed home" moment. Explorers Lewis and Clark mapped the unknown frontier, guided by Sacagawea, a Shoshone woman who basically saves their lives more than once. Meanwhile, cities are growing in the east. Factories rise. Steamboats churn down the Mississippi, and a new kind of American ambition is born. The idea that this country is destined to stretch from sea to shining sea. They call it manifest destiny. It sounds poetic, but it also means pushing native tribes off their land. A tragic reality that's often forgotten beneath the patriotic slogans. Still, America grows. Texas joins the Union. Railroads connect the coasts. Gold is discovered in California, and people rush west faster than a Black Friday sale. By the 1850s, the United States is booming. But not everyone's living the dream. Because beneath all that expansion lies a problem that's about to explode. Slavery. It's been there since the beginning, a contradiction in a nation that preaches freedom. And as America expands westward, people start asking, will these new states allow slavery or not? The debates grow louder, the compromises weaker, and the tension unbearable. By the 1860s, the country is divided. North versus South. Freedom versus oppression. Brother versus brother. The Civil War is coming.